By Allah, you have honestly completed your obligation, delivered what is required, and struggled for Allah as is due to Him. And I swear to Allah that I will be following your path and will conquer Gaul and what is beyond it with Allah's permission. O people, I am one of the soldiers' leaders. The governor and army commander of al-Andalus died as a martyr. So choose a leader from you who can reform the country and the army until an order comes from the caliph.
We accept no one but you as a leader. We accept only you.
We accept only you. We accept only you.
O Allah, guide me to what is good.
After the conquest of al-Andalus with the leadership of Musa bin Nusayr and Tariq bin Ziyad, the battles reached Septimania province, which is currently in western France. And with the arrival of Muslim armies to the city of Lyon, orders came to Musa and Tariq to stop the military operations and return to Damascus, the capital of the Umayyads. The expansion stopped to this limit. The Caliph Omar bin Abdul Aziz appointed the skillful leader As-Samh bin Malik al-Khawlani as the governor of Al-Andalus. He began constructing and regulating its internal matters and made Septimania a base for launching Muslim armies into Europe again. So, he headed east to wage battles against Aquitaine County. He almost took over its capital Toulouse, but he was martyred in that battle, which compelled the army to withdraw from the area with the leadership of Abdurrahman al-Ghafiqi. The situation in France was similar to that in Spain. A weak king, controlled by the army general and the nobles of the court, to share the lands of the kingdom and burden the people with taxes. As for the Islamic side of Spain, Abdurrahman al-Ghafiqi was the temporary governor of the country after the martyrdom of As-Samah. And that was until receiving a decision from the caliph to appoint a new governor. In 2 months, al-Ghafiqi was able to gather Muslims in Al-Andalus and organize their army. And when he received the order to resign, he obeyed the order, then worked faithfully under the order of 7 governors who succeeded in ruling Andalusia before he was appointed governor again by order of the Caliph Hisham bin Abdul Malik. Al-Ghafiqi was a combination of rigor and softness. He was a man of war and peace. He built mosques, roads, and bridges, and succeeded in easing the tension between the Qaisi and Yemeni tribes. He united Al-Andalus with its Arabs and Amazighs, all under the flag of Islam. Al-Ghafiqi grew up in a group of the Prophet's companions, like Abdullah bin Umar, from whom he learned to be pious in leadership, accurate in planning, courageous, and to seek martyrdom in wars. Odo was from the noble class. He controlled the vast province of Aquitaine in the south of France. When Al-Ghafiqi's armies stormed his land, he resorted to his arch-rival, Charles Martel, who controlled the King of France and his retinue.
Help me, O great Charles!
What do you want?
Muslim armies have taken over Toulouse and they may arrive to Paris soon.
I've been following their movements for years. Nothing scares me so far.
What are you saying? But how?
Listen to me. We'll let them penetrate our lands, and when they run out of resources, I'll attack them with the largest army Europe has ever known.
You are a great leader!
Thanks!
But I don't...
You don't what? Say it, man!
I don't want to lose my province and my wealth!
Listen.
I'm listening!
Everything has a price, Odo!
Right?
I think you understand me.
Maybe.
You should support me when I overthrow the king and take his throne!
With pleasure, my lord.
Al-Ghafiqi went on preparing to conquer France for more than 2 years. He gathered 25,000 warriors, making the largest Islamic army sent to Gaul, and set out with the troops by the sea at the beginning of the year 113. He first conquered the city Arles, which overlooks the Mediterranean Sea, to connect it to the islands under his control in Al-Andalus. He sent most of the army north across the Pyrenees, between France and Spain. He conquered all southern French cities like Lyon and Sens. On the other side, Charles Martel gathered about 200,000 fighters or more, outnumbering the Muslim army many times over. The Catholic Church called out to mobilize people, and Charles tempted the Vikings to join him in exchange for money and lands in the north of France. Al-Ghafiqi saw that the odds were against him, so he changed his direction to the city of Poitiers, where the Battle of the Highway of the Martyrs took place 200 kilometers away from Paris to withdraw with minimal losses in case of defeat. The battle lasted for about 10 days. The Muslim army was doing well in the early days. But the long duration of fighting in the muddy land and the small number of Muslim soldiers turned the situation upside down. Martel's army surrounded them. Al-Ghafiqi tried to get his soldiers back into formation, but an arrow hit his heart and ended his life. He rose to Allah as a martyr. The Muslim army lit up the tents at night and withdrew from their locations to avoid a massacre among those who were left. On the second day of the battle, the French were surprised to see the Muslim camp empty, and they took the spoils that the Muslims left. Martel refused to go after the Muslims, fearing a hidden ambush. Muslim campaigns against France continued for almost 30 years, so the Battle of the Highway of the Martyrs wasn't the last confrontation. And the attempts to reclaim French lands from Muslims only began in the reign of the Emperor Charlemagne, the grandson of Charles Martel. The concept of power was always behind the expansion of states throughout history. And when power is connected to divine guidance, it becomes a solid foundation for building the land based on justice and the guidance of people. So, how do Al-Ghafiqi's descendants look at their history today?
English translation, subtitles, and dubbing provided by Blessed Tree. Patreon.com/Blessed Tree.